Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream, Facebook live stream of our free online art class. So today we have a special assignment, but before that let me just kind of introduce you, those of you that are new. We are the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. We're a nonprofit organization. We normally hold these classes in person with a classroom full of parents and children and pretty much anyone from the community. We are not open because of the healthcare situations or the pandemic. We're streaming our classes via Facebook Live. So this is our 10th class, already 10 weeks since we started streaming. So welcome back to our 10th class. And today we have a special assignment. We are going to be drawing and painting. First we're going to start with the drawing, and we're going to do a painting. Last week I promised, well, I didn't promise, but I did say that I wanted to. Last week's class was dedicated to a father and a daughter who were cleaning the beach last week. And they weren't doing it for the video camera or anything. I was just happened to record them, and I share the video. It has like over 40,000 views, inspiring a lot of people, to do something positive for our community, our environment. So last episode was dedicated to them, and this episode is also dedicated to them. But this is a little more special because we are going to be drawing. We're going to be drawing this scene. If you follow the Cultural Alliance for Long Beach, I put up a reference photo. I went back to the place and took a photo of the background where the dad and the daughter were cleaning the beach. You can see they're pretty good on the camera. So this is one of the little islands that's there. That's there, and the dad and the daughter were right here cleaning the ocean. And we're gonna try to paint this, right? We're actually gonna start with that. All right, so as usual, I'm gonna share this link for a little bit, so I'll just be talking to you about the class, the program. So this is, if you look at the page. And then I also put up this other picture. Let's see. As a second option, right? Now this is kind of like a landscape idea, or oceanscape, kind of like the prior drawings or paintings that we did. Instead of the sun, we're gonna add the island. So it's similar to what we did before. Although there are not a lot of clouds, actually there's 0 clouds in this picture. There's 0 clouds, but this is an option between these two. So I took these photos. I went on and took these 2 photos to use as reference. You're welcome to use the grid technique where you do little squares. I'm gonna freehand it, and you're welcome to freehand it or break it up into squares, into grid, however you like. But this is our reference. If you didn't get a chance to print it or anything, that's okay. You can look at the picture from your desktop or your phone. You can look at the reference that I put up right there on the Facebook page. All right. So now let me just share this link a few, so people know we're live as usual. I also made this little sign here. If you wanted to donate, here's my Venmo account. If you wanted to donate, this is not required. We don't. I've been hesitant to promote this as this is not the intention of the class. But there's some kind people out there who'd like to support, and I just wanted to leave it there. But again, that's not the main purpose of the class. This is if you wanted to support. Here's my name, Venmo, Efren Luna, at Efren Luna. as usual, I'm gonna be carrying this class, our 10th class today. So pretty time flies, right? When you're having fun painting. So before today, I took my daughter to the place, to this place right here. I took her there. You know, we kind of took a few more pictures, and I was just kind of telling her where the dad and the daughter were, you know, and so I wanted to acknowledge the dad and the daughter that were cleaning the ocean, Jonathan and Jessica. So this is inspired by this painting is inspired by them, because they were literally like walking right here, cleaning the beach, right? They were doing that. So this painting is inspired by them. I haven't decided if I want to do it vertical or horizontal. So that's why I printed two different versions. But that's gonna be your choice. That's gonna be your choice. There's no clouds in this picture. You can add clouds, like as usual. You can add things that are not there if you wanted to. But this is gonna be our starting point. All right. So bear with me. I just gotta share this link a few more times before we get started. And oh, by the way, the images on the background, if you can see them, those images, they all been done during this 10 weeks, you know, during this 10 weeks of stay-at-home orders. You know, we started with the grid drawing. This is the one we did. George Washington Carver. We did a grid drawing of that, and we also simplified an assignment. We did this one like cartoon for the children, something more simple that parents can guide along. If you want to do this assignment with the grid technique, go to video number 1. I put a playlist of videos right here on this page of Cultural Alliance of Long Beach Facebook. So this is actually our first and second videos. They're actually named, number 1, number 2. So video number 1 and video number 2 can guide you how to do this assignment. So that was our first assignment that we did. Our second assignment was a landscape or sunset. This one right here. You see there on the camera? This one was done by imagination, right? Here's a few sailboats, right? There's a few sailboats there, and so this is our technically our third one, because we did 2 grid drawings. Then I think we did this one next. I might be messing up the order, but in essence, these are all the drawings that we did during the past few weeks. Every Friday, everything from scratch. You know, this one right here. This one was kind of like unplanned, kind of like let the moment take over. The drawings, it's step by step, right? And then I think the next one was the urban letter style of an inspiring word: hope, love, family, whatever it is that gives you hope, or something positive. Choose a word. I walk you through the steps. Then we did. I think we did the sun. This sun face next. I think that was next, right? Let's see. And then after that, this one, I gotta touch it up a little bit more. This one I gotta touch a little bit more. It's kind of like this sunset fantasy. These boats have little castles. So there's little castles that are floating, hot air balloons, a volcano. I may have to add a little more color to it. Kind of feel it needs a little more, but it's pretty much mostly done. So I think that was it. Oh, we also briefly walked you through the paper mache process, and we use this and others as an example. Right? This one's this is like a giant shark that we use for an example. We did smaller sculptures too, if you wanted to do paper mache. All right, folks. Let me see. All right, a few more links to share. We'll get started right away. So today was mostly going to work on the drawing part. If time permits, we'll start painting, but we'll try to start addressing the drawing mostly. All right. If you're joining us, and again, like, you know, if you don't have the image, you can just follow along and just kind of copy the steps. So all you need is pencil, paper, canvas. Ideally canvas. Ideally canvas would be better. Canvases will be better because we're going to be painting. But I know it's hard to get material. All right. How are we doing over there with the? Last time we had issues with our camera. It kept cutting off. So if that does happen, we'll jump right in and continue. All right, so let's get to the drawing part. Can you point to the picture here? So I'm gonna just point here, and you can zoom in on that, and you can see from looking at it, you can see that we can actually look at it as like start making a plan, right? Like, you know, should we do it horizontal, right? If we do it horizontal, and if we do it this size, we're probably gonna lose the sand part, and the sand part was very important because that's what Jonathan and Jessica were cleaning. They were cleaning the sand, so I kind of like this part, you know. I kind of like that part. I really like that part. So I'm leaning more towards this one. But again, like as always, you're welcome to paint, you know, to do this format or this one. We can add sand down here, right? Maybe, you know. So it's up to you. I also left another picture. This one's from the top of the bluff, where you can see, you can actually see the island. These are oil islands in Long Beach, and they're man-made islands. They're fake. They look very pretty, but they're fake. They pump oil out of them. The tower here, this building is actually a cover-up for an oil pump, right? They pump oil. If you go on a boat, behind there you can see like all the pumps, or, you know, it's not pretty on the other side, but over here it is. And at night it's like they put like rainbow lights. It looks really nice. I was hoping I could probably add the rainbow lights. We'll see how it goes. But these are the images that we're gonna be working from. All right, so I think I'm done promoting online, so I'll focus for now on the on the lesson itself. All right, guys, so thank you for bearing with me. Again, Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach and with Art, Music, and Culture. If you wanted to donate, here's a Venmo at Efren Luna, just like my name, Efren Luna. We appreciate that. If you wanted to donate materials, you have to send me a message on the page, and I can go, or I can arrange to either go pick up the material or arrange for you receive it from you here at the gallery. Canvases, paint, brushes, anything you know, for the art class that you can donate. It would be great if you wanted to donate for the, you know, through the Venmo app. You can do it through my Venmo account that's here. Anyway, so very good. So let's see. Art Martinez is watching us. Dennis McCord is watching us. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to, share the link, guys, if you think somebody out there might benefit from, you know, or might just enjoy watching or painting along. All right, guys, so too much talking, and now let's get to work, right? Here's the fun part. So let's see, I'm gonna rearrange this so it's a little bit closer to me. But you see this pencil? You want to have a sharp, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that right there? you want to have a sharp edge. You know, if you're an artist, I mean, if you're, you know, like, oh, one more thing I want to address. This classes are geared towards regular folks. I mean, anyone can participate, but these classes are geared towards the ordinary folks who may not have art experience. You know, for the community, this is what we do here at the gallery. You know, we invite everyone. Some folks may have experience, other people may have zero experience, but anyone can do this, okay? So we'll try to simplify a lot of the things as best as possible. If you're an adult, you want to sharpen your pencil with I did it with the box cutter to expose most of the lead. But if you're a parent, you know, just use a pencil sharpener for safety for your child. But if you're an adult, you can use a box cutter and make a long lead, and then you can either use sandpaper to scratch off an angle where a sharp tip. Anyways, these are drawing techniques that we use. So, and then you need an eraser. So I have an eraser here, but let me have an eraser ready. Here you go, an eraser, a couple of erasers. So this is mostly going to be drawing today. We'll see how far we get. I haven't decided if I want to do horizontal or vertical. I'm leaning towards vertical. Towards a vertical composition. You know, I'm leaning towards that. That's going to be kind of cool, right? This one's another option, but I don't know, the parking lot. The parking lot looks like too geometric. You know, it's kind of weird, like a comparison of nature, man-made. The island is man-made, so basically the elements, like you're right, the sky and the water is pretty much the only natural thing here. I mean, even the palm trees are like transplants, you know. The man-made island, the man-made parking lot. So this is not by any means a natural beach. You can actually barely see the breakwater wall back here. You know, so this is not a natural area, but it's you know, it still has a lot of nature element to it. So I'm gonna discount this one. So I made up my mind. You can do this one if you want. I'm not going to do that, and I think I'm going to go horizontal. I like the foot right here. Leti Chavez Ojeda, I just got watercolor markers. I'm excited to draw or paint, but I am not good at drawing at all. That's okay, Leti, because you know, the idea behind making art is we got to clear our mind from thinking we're good, we're not good. You know, we're gonna clear all that. We're gonna start from a clean slate, and just let just follow the process and trust. You know, I mean, it's hard to look at somebody that did an art piece and they've been doing it for years, and you know, they're a master and things like that. And then, you know, it's kind of like you hear a music composition, you're like, man, that's nice. And it's your first day of music, right? So it's kind of like that, but with the exception that with painting, we're gonna have a lot of liberty to make changes. So when you say you're not good at drawing at all, it doesn't matter, because I'm sure you can do a straight line, right? I know you're out there watching me. Yara, can you give me a ruler that's over there by the easel behind underneath the Kobe painting? You see a ruler there? Yeah, no? Wherever ruler you can find. So Leti and others that may not have art experience, like, let's zoom in on this picture, you know, or just put the camera down and I'll get it closer to the camera. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about this. This is gonna be a fairly simple composition, and it's not gonna be too interesting, but for me, it's going to be interesting because I know what it represents. It represents inspiration. and it represents a father and daughter cleaning the beach. They were right here cleaning the beach, right? And that's why I'm doing this. So that means more to me than the composition itself. But I can doodle. Okay, no worries, Letty. Check it out. You can do a straight line. Look, right? You see this ruler? Right there. You can do a straight line right there. So what you're going to do is going to do a line right there. So I'm going to guide you. You know, you see that I place a ruler right there, you know? You can do a straight line right there. You're also going to do another line right here, slanted at a little bit of an angle, right? You see that? And then right here, there's another line where the miniature wave crashes in, right? And then there's another miniature wave. Actually, here's the, you know, the big wave, right? It's by no means, you know, a surfing wave. Maybe if you're like a miniature, you know, this is a little wave, right? This is even like just a splashing. And then here's where the sand and the water meet, and it changes colors, right? This green area, it's where the wave picked up a little bit, but this is very simple, right? We see lines. We see like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 lines going this way, right? And they're at an angle. And over here we see a horizontal line. This is pretty center. You know, I took this image pretty center. And then these shapes are like geometric shapes. They're like kind of like a rectangle. This little tower is a rectangle, and it has little rectangle shapes, right? They're darker ones on this side because the sun is shining from this side. So we have a shadow side and a lighter side. And the same thing with this tower. Now this tower, right, this little structure is the, oh no, I think this one over here is the waterfall, right? And then all these little lines, this is where you can doodle. You know, you doodle like just kind of like a straight organic line, the palm trees. So this should be very simple, all right? We're gonna, the good thing about this is we're not drawing a hand or a face, something close up where people are gonna be like, what's that, right? Right here, this is, you know, it has, I drew a portrait using your techniques from a previous video, and they look okay. Thanks. Yeah, well, great, Letty. And just know that it's like anything, right? You know, with practice, you know, we become better, right? And I gotta admit that, like, I haven't been too much actively painting. I've been mostly actively curating art shows. But this pandemic, now I have like over 10 artworks that I've done, right? I never painted this much in recent times since I was in college, you know. So I had to get back into the groove of painting and drawing again. You know, so, you know, practice. And anyway, so I'm gonna turn the image this way so I can see it. All right. And maybe, yeah. Like if you're working from a computer, you can probably open up another screen with this image that I put on there. But I have to put it this way because I'm gonna be drawing. Okay. So I chose this composition, and I'm just gonna estimate. I'm not even gonna measure. I'm just gonna eyeball it, right? So this line is not necessarily centered. In fact, let's do a little bit of measuring, not that much. So this paper's 11 inches, right? And from the top to the bottom, where the island lands is like 4.5 inches, right? So that's like less than half. So if I'm using that metric, so this canvas is 12, let's see, 12 plus 8, this is 20. So 10 inches is my halfway point. So this line has to be, you know, smaller. This line has to be smaller. So this is my halfway point, 10 inches. So I'm gonna go like maybe, I don't want to get too mathematical. All right, so that it was, see, when you start thinking about math, I start to kind of doing all these math problems. I'm just gonna eyeball it, and make a line very lightly, like across, right? And it's okay if it's, you don't need a ruler for this line. Just very light so you can erase and you can see. Let me turn it around. Can you focus on there? Make sure they see the top of this. Yeah. Can you, well, let me see. Okay. They see from here to here? No? Let me just set it flat. How about that? Better? Can you see from here to here? Okay. So I know it's at an angle, but you notice this is how much far I went. And yeah, so my island's going to be, my towers are going to be reaching up to here. So I may want to bring it down just a little bit. Now that I'm looking at it this way, right? Because my tower, well, the tower's kind of small, right? It's not like, it's going to be like maybe this tall. Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And if, look, what will happen if I make the island closer or farther? If I make it farther up, it's going to look like farther away but bigger. Because it's farther away, right? Because the ocean is more distance. But if I put it closer with the same size, it's going to look closer but smaller, even though it's the same size. You're probably thinking I'm crazy because I'm not making any sense. But if you're an artist, you know what I'm talking about. It's perspective, distance perspective, diminution. Those are terms. All right, enough of the terminology. Anyway, so here's my line, right? And let's see. So this is 11 inches. So 5.5 is my other, my half. Let's see. So this wave lines are this. Okay. So this wave line on the shore side, or the closest side to us, is about the same distance of this one, but on the opposite end. Okay, I'll just do it. Let's see, 6.5. 6.5. Okay, right here. Okay, so I'm putting a little mark, and so right here, and then it goes like at an angle. Right now I'm just doing the lines of the waves. And then right below that there is another line of a smaller wave. Like the waves in the front are less strong, and then the waves on the back are bigger. And then there's another line of where the water and the ocean meet, and this is like different sections. So let me turn it around. So this is what it looks like. I'm now freehanding it. I may erase to work on the drawing. This is going to be hard to see. So I'll trace it a little more. Here you go. Now this is the right view for you, right? So you're just doing these light lines. Oh, yeah, let's see. Jackson, aka El Aguas Oficial. El Aguas Oficial is watching us. Shout out to El Aguas Oficial. Alma Felix is watching us. Shout out to Alma. Shout out to Letty. Art, Dennis, all you guys watching, appreciate that. Share if you like, if you know someone that may be interested in following along. These videos, they remain, so you can work at your own pace at a later time. All right, this line keeps on falling off. Okay, so you can see the lines. Here's the line. Let me do this. This line right here is the line of the island, right? This line right here is the line of the big wave. This line right here is the line of the little wave. And this line right here is the line of the water meeting the sand. And then over here there's footprints and things like that. So this is all we need for now, right? All right, so if you can see I put up a reference image on the same page. Okay, so you can actually open up a separate window, look at it if you want. All right, so I'm gonna work on my drawing from top to bottom. So let's see. Okay, so this is a very interesting island. I'm gonna draw in shapes. So I'm gonna make like a little compartment, like kind of like higher. You know, another thing that really helps drawing, you want to think in terms of shapes, lines, shapes. You don't want to think, oh, this is an island, oh, this is water, oh, this. You want to try to train your brain away from thinking of the objects that you're seeing. Because what's happening is your brain is interpreting, and you know how, like Letty said, I am not good at drawing at all. That's because your brain is judging you your very first mark. Like my brain's already want to judge these lines. Oh, they don't look like anything, right? Because that's what our brains are are telling us. You know, our brain is we're so used to like instant. I don't think it's gratification, but instant like acknowledging, right? So this is a slow process, right? So we have to take it easy, right? So I'm just guessing this tower is going to be right about here, right? So you just do a shape right here like a rectangle, and at the bottom it curves down like this a little bit. Let's see. And you know what? If it's not perfect, unless you see the island, then you're gonna know it's not perfect, right? Because hey, what if I made my tower a little shorter and wider, right? Who's gonna tell me, hey, that's not how it is? Maybe the oil workers that work there, maybe they'll know, you know. So what I'm trying to say is like, don't be stressed about if the drawing is not too perfect. See, right now I'm gonna trim it down a little bit. You know, that's why we work with pencil. If you're working with watercolors, you want to work on your drawing as best as possible. Okay, there's watercolors are very relaxing, but they are very particular. Watercolors, you will need to have your drawing, very well done, very well done. Like in terms of knowing what you're going to be painting over and what you're not going to be painting over. Okay, I know this sounds hard, but with watercolor, the white of the painting is the white of the paper. There's no white paint for watercolor. That's what I'm trying to say. So you have to plan ahead and leave white paper as your white paint per se. So there's no white paint in watercolor. So you have to, and the problem, once you cover up the paper with paint, you can't really paint white over it, not with watercolor. That's why some people have a hard time with watercolor. You know, so if you work on the drawing, you just designate which areas to leave white, or and it's amazing, like with the things you can do with watercolor. I'm kind of bummed that there's no clouds here in this drawing, but you know what? I should just be grateful I was able to get this picture, right? You know. So I'm working on the island here, just kind of making things up. It's not going to be precise. Like mathematically, it's not going to be precise by any means. I can already tell. In fact, mine's is looking way too big. Like it feels like I'm making the sky smaller, but that's okay. We'll just see how it looks. If you ever have a chance to see this at night, this island's glow like really beautiful colors at night. So this part, let's see. Yeah, then there's a bunch of little palm trees right here. I'm just gonna draw like little sticks. I'm not even counting them or anything. I'm just doing the shape of them, or the figure of them. Have like a little bush right here at the top, like the plant, So they look pretty straight, you know. I wonder if they're real. You know how they have those fake trees for the cell towers, you know. But I don't know. I think this one's got to be real. It's too much work to fake this trees. I mean, and this island's been around forever, so I think they've been around before there were cell phones. So this is where you do the doodles, right? This is where the pointy part of the lead is helping. And relax, you know, like I was kind of worried because I chose a very like realistic image. But you know what? I don't have to keep it realistic. All right. So one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this view that is larger, just for the details, right? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 6 of these blue towers. Let's see. Wait a minute. Now that I'm looking at the pictures, they're different. I'm not standing in the same line, so it's a little bit of a different view here. All right. I'll just have to like adjust it, you know. So here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes. Now these shapes are important because those are going to be once you add the color, it's gonna you know, they're gonna stand out, right? You see, I can only fit about 5 here, but I need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll add one more down here and bring this shape a little bit more down. Okay, if I did the grid for this drawing, it would make it pretty precise for what I'm doing, right? But that I want to have that freedom of like adding things if I want to. So I'm gonna take that. That's the thing, you know. You are the master of your own, you know, your own work. So, you know, this is not a commission. It's not an architectural drawing. So I don't have to be so precise if I don't want to, right? I mean, you could make it perfect if you want. But, okay, so that tower is kind of looking a little bit weird. And it's kind of slanted. So I'm going to erase one side to try to fix it. This is kind of like the Leaning Tower of Long Beach. This is a Leaning Tower. Okay. All right, I'm not going to get caught up in the details. It's easy to get caught up in working the details. This is a little bit dark because it has shadow. All right, let me turn the canvas around so you can see what I have. I think I made it larger in comparison. Let me just set it flat right here. You can see that right there. All right, so this is all freehand, right? That's the beauty of this thing. In fact, while I'm talking, I'm going to draw backwards, right? I'll just look at the details. So this shape, this shape. It's funny because there's a little boat over here. So this part, there's a part of the island, the lower part, that's like a rock foundation. Like all this part is like a bunch of little rocks, right? I'm just gonna make like little circles. I don't even know if I should. Like maybe I could do a texture with the paint. But for the drawing part, I'm just gonna do random circles to mimic the rocks. That, you know, it's just so I can know where, like, with the brush, I'm probably gonna do like a texture, like you know, like kind of like pressing down like this to create this texturing. So this lines or these circles, they don't matter that they're perfect. They're gonna be covered up. It's just for me to remember, like, okay, this is a texturing part, you know. Can you zoom in to this part? If you can, without like moving the camera as much. I mean, you can move it up and down, but like not side to side. Yeah, so people can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just doing like the rock wall or rock foundation. So this is all just little circles. Let me just speed it up. Like I said, it doesn't matter that they're not. Just gonna fill them out, you know. Maybe I'll do doodles here, right? All right, this is your chance to do the doodles. This little wall right here, just do like literally do doodles like this. Try to keep those shapes of the circles, but keep it within this area. Right? Because we're mimicking that rock foundation of that island. Oh, by the way, this canvas right here is a recycled canvas. I went and recycled one of my canvases from a prior assignment. All I did is I primed it, and it has a little underground or under texture that I couldn't get rid of, but that's okay. You know, that's another thing that we do here. We recycle the canvases. Sometimes we'll paint on cardboard or wood panels. You know, artists are familiar with recycling. A lot of times, as artists, we'll paint on alternative surfaces because, you know, canvases can cost a lot of money, right? But this is a recycled canvas that I pretty much painted over with white. This is probably the second time I painted over, but it's all right because it's for a great purpose, right? Okay, so you can see that you know, that rock wall, right? Leti Chavez Ojeda. Okay, so you can see Leti, and those of you that are watching or going to be watching in the future, right? Like, the drawing doesn't have to be perfect. Like, these two structures are far apart. Look, I put them so far apart, but they're actually closer to each other, right? But you know what? I made them farther apart, so it made it seem like this island is closer to me, you know? But it's all right. Now let me add a little more of those trees. Like, there's like, I don't know, there's like, I want to say like 15 to 20 palm trees right here. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's like there's 4 here. Actually 5. There's a really tall one right here. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just kind of counting them. What happens, I'm not counting them to be precise. I'm counting them because if I don't, I'll just keep making trees and cover the whole thing in trees, right? So it's like a way to remind myself, hey, buddy, not too much. And from this structure here, I can see there's like, oh, okay, so I'm missing, let's see. I'm actually missing another structure here. And I just noticed that. So I'm going to draw it like a box, like a rectangle. This might be that waterfall. Yeah, that's what that is. It's that waterfall. And at night, it has like rainbow lights. It looks really pretty. This is that. So after that, I have 5. You know, the distance from here to here is longer, right? I don't know, but I like it here. I kind of like it here. I might. Okay, I'm going to extend it. Let's see if I erase. Okay. It's hard to erase with this recycled canvas. Okay, I'm going to leave it. And I'm just going to add palm trees all over the place. they're supposed to be farther out, but you know, who cares, right? It's not like an eyeball. Like you're not gonna say, hey, that eyeball is too far out. Like right here, this structure, they could have made it closer here, and you wouldn't be complaining, right? Or I wouldn't be complaining. So I'm gonna take that artist liberty and say, you know what, this is all for the fun of it. So it's all good. Notice how I started to get caught up in my judging my own work, and I started to erase, and then I couldn't erase, and I'm like, okay, let's just go with it, you know, and it's okay. Like nobody would know, right? Like, okay. So let's see. There's another little structure here. So the structures, I'm just kind of mimicking the lines. You know, I don't even know what they are, like if they're actual buildings or what is going on over there at the little island. Maybe this is a secret experimental island, right? No, it's an oil pumping island from what I understand. It looks really nice, and from the front end of it, decorated with a lot of palm trees. Okay, so you can see we made an advancement, right? All right, so let me pick it up a little bit so people can see. Hold it up a little bit there. You can see this is that part, right? So I reduced the space of my sky, but that's okay. You know what? And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it's a better idea because this picture doesn't have any clouds. So the lack of clouds gives it a sense of emptiness. So with the drawing being closer to the top, it stands out a little bit better, that little island. So you can see that drawing, right? Like, there we go. Now I'm gonna work on the island. There's this little floater thing. I'm not gonna worry about that guy. That guy's probably gonna disappear. But that's a floating device. I'm not gonna worry about it. So now I'm gonna work on the next line. So the next line is this wave. Okay, so basically, oh man, this wave's like very interesting. Now I haven't painted waves in a long time, and it takes a while to learn. You know, like you have to study things to get better at painting them, right? But I'm just gonna go with the lines. There you go. There's lines. There's a this wave. There's a wave that kind of like it almost. Here you go. It's like this shape, like this wave. Maybe this eraser. If you're drawing on paper, it's easier to erase. This canvas, it might be the primer I use. Yep. Okay. Well, this is good. I guess it'll force me to not stretch the drawing too much, but just get general lines. So that's pretty much it for this line, right? This other one, it's like a little thinner, and it's like, I want to say it's like wavy. You know what? These lines are going to be defined with a brush. I've been to that island, totally different view, not so pretty close up. LOL. Right. I remember my brother-in-law had a jet ski, and we were out there riding one time, and I think I went around the island, and I was like, man, it's ugly on the backside, because the backside's not pretty, right? It's just like all these machines drilling into the ground, you know, or you know, they don't have to make it pretty on the other side. So that's, you know, that's kind of like a bummer, you know, but hey, you know, at least they made it pretty, you know, so we can look at something nice as opposed to. But I'm not going to get into the politics of, like, you know, nature versus man-made. You know, we'll leave that for another for someone else. Right now we're focusing on the drawing. Let's see. So this is just a series of lines, right? That we have here. Okay. I think I'm done with the general lines. Let's see that right there. All right. Yeah, it's pretty early. Like I thought I was gonna dedicate like I may have time to even start painting. All right, folks. So I'm gonna work on the drawing just a little bit more before I decide to start painting. But a lot of these lines are gonna be pretty much defined with the texture of the brush. Let's see. I'm trying to like plan how I'm gonna paint this, but okay, I'll think about that while I'm still adding lines. So the this part of the this ocean is gonna be just lines, because it's like short, tiny waves that are coming towards us. So I'm gonna make lines with the white side of my pencil. Just gonna try to cover all of that, And in fact, let me kind of add some kind of movement here so it mimics the texture. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. The brush is gonna do a lot of the definition, but it's just sort of to remind you like that there's gonna be a different texture here. This water is pretty calm for the most part. I mean, you can see like light ripples of waves and water. So patience, right? So this is the white part, like the foam, or this part right here. So I'll try to leave that alone, and I'll just darken, with like textury lines. Let me just add some lines and I'll do the texture. Okay. It's actually, there's different darks and lights, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. This is just a foundation drawing. So this is your ocean water. This is your ocean water right here. So it's similar to the sunset, right? Except for the sun. Now you got the island, right? I was thinking of adding the people here cleaning the beach, but I didn't get a picture of them really good, so I don't want to distort their image, but we'll see. We'll work on this and see how it feels, So let's keep on adding lines here. The very front of it, it's the sand. I kind of like how the sand has like just a bunch of footprints, which is really cool. Anyway, so let's see. Let's just keep drawing, right? I feel like I can start painting already. This parts of the water are very, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, there you go. it has different texture. Like the water here and the water here has different texture. And this one is lighter. You can see it's lighter here because this wave is reflecting off of here. So this part is gonna be lighter. So I'm gonna leave like this whole part. I'm not gonna make texture. I think I'm done. Let's see. There's lines that kind of go up like this. Like the lines kind of go up. Man, this is tough because I haven't done waves. But you know what? It's all good. I think I'm done, like as far as the drawing part. Let me work on the island structures a little bit more. Let's see, just keep on adding. Oh, there's a little height. There's more vegetation in the front. So let me try to fill those out. It's like trees. Actually, there's like this front part, it's all like trees. There you go. There's more trees right here. Well, I don't know if they're bushes or trees. Oh, here you go. There's more palm trees right here. It's actually a lot more. All right, let's see. There's an American flag over here. You can barely see it. Like I know because I seen the other picture, and I saw it on the camera lens. That's why I know what it is. But if I never saw it that way, I would never know what it is from this printed picture, you know. So I guess it's all good if you can't tell the details too much, you know. Just keep on adding a little more palm trees. Just gonna try to fill this. You know, this area is pretty condensed. Like there's a bunch of palm trees and they're closer to each other. All right. Mayra Cadena has joined. Welcome, Mayra. We're doing a live drawing painting class. Right now you need is pencil, maybe paper, canvas if you want to paint it afterwards. So this is my source. One of the little islands. There's 4 of them. I wonder if they have names. They probably do. But they're like the little oil islands right here on our shore. So this is one of the second closest to us. And they're pretty looking, right? They decorate them to look nice. But this view was inspired by a father and daughter who were cleaning the beach last week. Jonathan and Jessica, they were walking right here on the sand, right here in this spot right here. They were cleaning this area. They were picking up trash, like they had a bag full of trash, like they were just picking it up with their gloves and their masks, you know. And there's a video on my Art, Music, and Culture page. You can look at it. It's very inspiring. Everyone that commented is like positive. They feel inspired and motivated. You know, they feel like there's hope. That people care, you know, about each other, the planet, you know. So to honor them, we're doing this painting. All right, let's see. I'm gonna try to attempt to draw the kind of like the footprints. They're just more like oval shapes, you know, random. Kind of follow like a line. So I'm just kind of mimicking like little shapes. This is gonna be tricky because this is the foreground, and the foreground needs to have more details. But you know, we'll simplify it. Like I said, these classes are not This is not like your college art class type of thing, right? This is just something that anyone can do. And if it doesn't look exactly like it, it's all right. You know. Remember Picasso? Picasso painted faces with like 3 eyes and 2 noses, but Picasso did learn to draw the right way, and he just got bored of like painting ordinary like or realistic images, and wanted to start something new called the Cubism period. He went through different periods. He painted with red and white paint only for a period of time. It was called the red paintings or pink paintings. And then he did blue and white only. That was the blue period. You know, the blue paintings. And then I guess he's most famous for his Cubism. There's another guy that he's not the only one that was part of that movement. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, you know, with art you can do anything pretty much. And this is not a commission piece, so it doesn't have to look like anything. There's no one's gonna tell me like that they don't like it and return it, right? So here's my drawing, guys. I think I'm pretty much done. I may just start painting. Let's try to focus the camera on here. Like you can try to get most of it out. Okay, folks. So you can see this is a very light drawing. There's not that much detail. It's not by any means the same as this one. You know, look, there's more space here. The buildings are smaller. I made them bigger, right? Which means my painting is kind of like a small box in here, right? Kind of like smaller. You know, I can probably cut this paper out and give it the dimensions of this, right? Or the composition, right? There's more space here. Now I didn't have any clouds, so I thought it was cool to put the structures closer to the top, right? So I have another hour left, so I'm gonna get into the painting. I didn't think I was gonna get to the painting today, but I am going to get into that. So I'm gonna do light blue, and I'm gonna have it like very watery. This structure is lighter than that, and it's like a beige type of structure. So I'm trying to think of like how to I can just paint very light. I'll do that. Watercolor is nice for this part. Watercolor, there's this I forgot what it's called, but there's this like liquid. You use your brush and cover areas. It's kind of like masking tape liquid. You use your brush and basically it'll preserve the white. It's kind of like a brush, like liquid masking tape. I don't know what it's called, but that is if you want to keep the precise white for watercolor. I don't have watercolors. I'm going to use acrylic. So I'm going to go grab a blue and white to make this this sky. And you know what? Let me take a last look at my drawing, especially the structure, since I'm going to paint from the top to the bottom, just to see I didn't miss any major structures. Okay, this little guy has like a curvature because this is that waterfall. Well, no, this has the structure. The waterfall is this one. At night, this has like rainbow colors. Okay, let me touch up the structures. Oh yeah, I'm glad I did because there's a bunch of trees right here. This whole thing is green. This whole thing is a bunch of green trees. Yep. All right. Okay. see. All right. Let me go get my paints. So I do have about an hour. So I'll try to get to the at least, you know, attempt the background, the sky. We'll see how we do. So bear with me. I'm gonna grab my paint. Janet, can you give me just full of water, please? A little more than halfway. All right, so now I gotta get my palette. And there they are. I wasn't ready for the painting part, guys. But it went pretty fast. So you see what I'm talking about? Thank you. You see what I'm talking about? The drawing, Letty, that it doesn't have to look, you know, like exactly like it, right? So, you know, we're done with our drawing, right? It doesn't have to be a perfect drawing because this is gonna be a painting. If I was gonna do a drawing, then I would have chosen paper, drawing paper, and I would have chosen, you know, like drawing texture paper, you know, color pencils maybe, if I wanted to add color. If not, just different types of dark and light graphite, right? And but that was not the intention for this. The drawing is basically just to set a foundation for our. Let me see how this blue does. Okay, this blue might do it. I need to add a little bit of white. Now this brush may work. All right, so I added a little bit of white, and can you see that right here? Here's my blue. I added a little bit of white. Let's see how it sort of looks. It's lighter, right? The one I mixed is lighter, so I add a little more. White's pretty strong, like at least this one. All right, let's add the whole thing. It's still, this white's taking over, so I'll add a little more blue. If that's what you want to do, you want to add a little bit. All right. Share the link, guys. But this is our 10th video that we are doing. This is our 10th video that we are doing. We've been doing this for 10 weeks since the shutdown began, or the stay-at-home order. We normally do these classes in person at the gallery here. So this is our 10th class. Today is our 10th class that we do every Friday. Every Friday here at the gallery. But we didn't want to completely shut down, so we figured we can do the live stream, right? Okay, here's a part that normally you want to Yara, can you give me there's white paper, I think, over there behind that. Yeah, there's a couple of white papers there. Yeah, I bring those. So you want to test the paint on a white paper maybe, or ideally if you have the same surface, just to see if that's what the color, the color that, that you want. Yeah, this is it. This is it. The only problem with this is too thick. I mean, the color's perfect, but it's too thick. So when I get closer to this part, it might erase my drawing, and I really don't want that. So I'm gonna keep that paint, but I'm gonna water it down, like kind of like watercolor, right? So I'm going to maybe use this much of paint and add a little more water. Oh yeah, this is gonna be nice. Okay, so I'm gonna work from the top to the bottom. Let me just clear the... Now I don't know how this surface is gonna work. This canvas has been recycled. This is the second time that I know of. When I got it, it had a painting on it, so who knows? Let's see. Not bad. What do you think, Yana? My daughter's over there shaking her head like, hey, this is working. So it's a little bit transparent, right? And I want it to be transparent because I may go over the drawing with this, but I don't want the drawing to be erased. So let me water it down some more. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just work with... Oh, the paint is kind of moving around. The surface, I don't know how it's gonna keep it. We'll see, we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay. So you see the difference is very light because he has water versus, when he had more paint. So I'm gonna treat it like watercolor as I get closer to the structure. Okay, so the top of the tower, I already got close to that. So, and this blue is still pretty strong. I'm just adding water, guys. And the brush still has some blue on it. Has enough blue to keep, coming out. So, let's see. You see what I mean? You can still see the drawing, right? Okay. I was kind of testing the waters over here before I went over the structure. So, because this is acrylic, I can actually paint over. So I'm not going to be too worried about covering everything. Now that I realize that, I'm just going to go with the light coat. This is mostly going to be water. As I get close to the structure, it's mostly going to be water. You see that, guys? But the reason why I added water is because I don't want to lose my drawing. Now, here's what's nice about this. You can make, so remember my dark original color? Right now, while the water is wet, you probably want to... Here's what's gonna make it cool. Can you see the palette yet? Okay, watch this, guys. Watch this. This is very important right here. Watch what's gonna happen. All right, a little bit of dark on the brush, and I'm just gonna follow the edge of the canvas. Okay, actually a lot more because this is okay. So let's see. This is important that you see. So right there. So that's darker at the top, lighter at the bottom. I don't want to mess with it that much because I feel like, but you know what? Without adding more paint, just keep doing the same motion. By the way, I used about an inch, the size of an inch of a brush. You know what? And this was actually kind of cool. Without thinking about it, I got a watercolor brush, and because I'm treating this acrylic paint like watercolor. And you know, I just looked at it and I knew I was gonna use water. You know, so it worked out. But you know what? If you're using watercolor and you lose your white, don't worry about it. Just give it another color, right? Like so. What if it's not white? You know, it's like it's just gonna be different. You know. Okay, so I accidentally added darker closer to the palm trees. So what I'm doing now is like trying to hurry up before it dries. And I'm gonna spread that color because I got caught up talking and I didn't think this part through. There you go. Here's one of the things about watercolor. There you go. It's kind of saved the day here. The thing about watercolor, man, this is not even watercolor, but it's kind of behaving like watercolor. I have a watercolor brush. I have acrylic that's really watered down. Let's just hope it doesn't break and give me a texture afterwards. So I'll leave that alone for now. What's nice about watercolor is as long as you keep the surface wet, you can pick up the paint pretty much. Once it dries, that's it. With watercolor, once it dries, that's it. What I mean by that's it, like, yeah, whatever that became darker, it's not going to get any lighter. All right. But if it's wet, you can still, like right now, this whole thing is wet. It's not water. I'm using acrylic, but it's pretty watered down. If I was to put water on this, I can probably wash it off. It's not dried. Right. But the thing about watercolor is that, you know, like you have to plan ahead for your if you're going to use white, because there is no white paint. Your canvas or your paper for watercolor is your white. So let me turn this around so people can see. The only thing I'm kind of having a little bit trouble with accepting, I guess. Let me put this closer so people can see. Go back there and see how it looks. Oh, okay, actually looks better on the camera. You know, like social media, huh? Looks better on the camera. I'm just kidding, guys. But so I'm gonna clean my brush and see if I can pick up some of this water. You know. I'm trying to pick up the water so it doesn't dry with the texture part. What do you guys think, huh? Out there. So we have Fatima Flores, Mayra Cadena, David Flores. Shout out to all you guys watching us live. Leti Chavez. What do you think, Leti? You know, it's not as difficult, huh? Like as one would think. You know, if we turn off our, you know how they say inside of us there's this little miniature person, like a miniature version of us that's always like criticizing us, like, hey, that's not right. Hey, you messed up. Hey, so that little guy gotta, you know, for my case, that little guy gotta have a little timeout, right? So you can see right here the sky is darker at the top and it lights it up, right? So I didn't paint over I did paint over the drying, but very lightly, right? Very lightly, so that I can actually add color here. You know, I'm gonna add green for some of the vegetation, and I'm gonna add like some kind of brownish, beige, rocky color at the foundation right here. Then below that, this is gonna be my water. But that layer of water is gonna be darker. That layer of water is gonna be darker. Let me just put this drying here. Can you, sorry guys, I paint slow. I talk too much. But you know what? It's all good. Like, I'm trying to guide you through the process from beginning to end. Everything is from scratch. Even the picture was from scratch. I had to go to the place and take a photo. Right? Take a photo, and I'm painting from my own reference. Right? So you see this blue is lighter than that blue. So I decided that this is about as close as I can get, you know. I can probably darken it up a little more, but I'll leave it light for now. So this blue is darker, and it gets lighter on this part. So it's darker right here, but it's a little bit lighter here. And it's a small distinction that you can probably see. And if you blur your eyes, there's little streaks of dark lines. They're actually lines. You can see them. They're dark, like this dark bluish lines, you know. Right? And there's a little bit of green here where this water picks up from the tiny wave. All right. So this is mostly blue and dark lines, but we're going to try to avoid the black color. We're not going to try to use black color here. All right. So let's see. In order to paint this part, because this is like a white, this is a blue, this is a darker blue panels. This tower has, and then that has blue panels, and then there's green vegetation. In order for me to paint that, I probably gotta wait for this part to dry. Right? If it's wet, it'll probably smear. If I try to paint the palm trees are like green, but like dark green. It's more like a shadow part because it's so far into the distance. And then underneath the palm trees are trees. So this is going to be dark green lines as opposed to black lines, you know. They're going to be green lines. Like green, closer, like dark green. Okay? But I'm going to wait till that dries off. Now I'm trying to decide if I should paint this right now. This water. But I'm not feeling it. I want this to dry so I can keep working downwards, right? I feel like once I put paint on here, let's see, because if I use this blue, this is this blue right here with white. Let me do a little experiment. All right, so you want to have a white paper or, you know, white surface, you know, to paint, to test the paint, right? So this paint right here, let's see, it's straight from the can, right? It just looks like a darker version of this, but I don't see it. Yeah, this one's even darker. So I want to preserve the blue, but darker blue. So I might mix it with another bottle of darker blue. Let me go look for that. Ultramarine blue is a darker blue. So my prior blue was, this is a fluorescent blue. So I'm gonna mix a fluorescent blue with ultramarine blue. This blue is a very, very dark blue. I don't want to use too much of these, because this will just pretty much like But let's see. Just want a little touch of that. Okay, that might be too much. So I'll just mix. This is so dark it almost looks purple. Let's see. You see the difference? Let me put it next to it. You see the difference? Which one will you go for? What about you, Yara? To get, like, okay, so let me stop using this brush for pointing so I don't mess up the painting. So this blue or that blue, these two lines are the same, but let's focus on these two. This is darker blue, both of them are darker than this one, right? But this one and that one, which one's closer to, let's say this part of this is lighter and this is darker, just by a little bit. But this part, which of these two paints are closer to this part? This one or that one?
The top one.
The top one, huh? Yeah, I kind of feel like that too. But yeah, let me see. In fact, let me fold the page. Let's see what the deal is here. Let's put it closer. Yeah, it's closer, right? I mean, this might work, but I feel like it's a color in between the two. So, okay, so now that I know what kind of blue I want, I don't have enough in my palette to paint this entire surface. If I do, I'm gonna run out like within a couple of, like an inch. So, man, I'm really nervous about painting this part. Okay, gotta use my own advice, right? I gotta use my own advice. Okay. Hey, we have to do this, right? There's no ifs or buts. Let me just mix a larger part of. Yada, give me another palette. Oh no, I have palettes right here. Thanks. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna mix up the paint, but I'm gonna make a pretty good mix. Now that I kind of have an idea of what kind of blue I want to use for that section of the water, right? I just need to have enough to go around, to cover the entire thing. All right. See, when you're mixing colors, that's when the fun begins, right? I mean, you can just buy a bunch of different colors, but to be honest, like when you mix, it has like you kind of feel like you're actually, creating special colors, because the intensity of the color, the brightness, the lightness, all of that, it's going to be different than if you do it straight from the bottle. A lot of times you can see paintings, and this is for like artists who know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes you can see the color straight from the bottom. This is similar. It's pretty close, huh? Let me add a little more of this fluorescent blue. If your painting is looking different than mine, it's all good, right? In fact, I always tell people it shouldn't look exactly like mine. I mean, if it is, that's okay too. But if it's not, that's okay too. Like, I try not to encourage everybody to have the same thing, Like, your island might look smaller than mine, Your water might be, like your green might be different than mine. And it probably will, because we don't have the exact same bottles of paint, right? Okay, so I have made up my mind to paint the next section. So I'm gonna flip this so I can see it, guys. All right, we have about 30 more minutes. If we're in class, like in physical form, this is probably the time we start cleaning up, but you're not here, you know, you can clean up your house whenever, so we'll push it a little longer. Okay, I gotta have my source to look at. There you go. So this nice picture, printed picture is getting all beat up. If you want to donate to the class, here's my Venmo account. You put the camera over here for a little bit. So Venmo at Efren Luna. If you wanted to donate, these classes are free, but you know, if you can, that'd be great. If not, it's still good. We don't do this for that. I think this is the second time I promote this, the Venmo account. In any case, it's there. We appreciate anything. You don't have to, but so let me get to the painting part. Okay. Let me water it down a little bit, just in case it's not perfect. Okay. So all I know is that this entire area is light. It's darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. So I'm gonna just go for it. Okay. Can't finish the painting right if I don't. Notice how my wiggly lines got lost completely. So that's what I was saying, like don't worry about the lines too much, because they were more for like saving a spot. You know, Long Beach folks, you know, like there's no parking, right? And you have somebody stand there and save your spot. That's what the drawing that's what the drawing was, like somebody standing there saving your spot, so that you know so that you know what area is water, what area is sky. Okay, this needs to get lighter as I guess as the water moves down, you know, like from the picture, it's lighter coming down here, so it's maybe, I don't want to add white, but let me add a little bit of the, okay, let's just try it. Just a very low touch of white. Oh, it looks the same. I think it looks the same, but let's see. You know what? Let's just cover the whole thing and let's just see what happens. Okay, so I gotta stop here. This is my wave. Okay, this is, let me just apply this. I'll do the texture with another brush. I have an idea. Okay, I'll stop right here. But it's darker at the top, so how do I do that? Let me add a darker blue. I feel like I'm too far away from the painting. Let me see. Can you see that on the camera yet? Yeah. I know, guys, I'm painting. It looks to you backwards, I know. But this setup works better for me because it's a 2-hour session, so. Okay, that's not that bad. I kind of feel like it's darker at the top now and lighter at the bottom, so. Now, okay, I'm gonna use a small brush to create the, okay, let's see. Let's put this brush in the water so it doesn't dry. I'm gonna use a small brush to create those textury motions. Let me find a. Okay, let's experiment. We're gonna experiment with different brushes. Let's see. Okay, this may work. I don't know how that's working. I don't want to add black, but I want to create those lines that have a shadow. Yeah, I need to mix up this paint. Oh, you know what? A dark green. A dark green may do it. Oh, I have it. All right, this may work. And it's not looking right, but let's just create this texture. You know what's happening? It's dark. I mean, it's still wet, so I'm kind of removing the paint. So at this point, I think I'm gonna save what I have and wait till it dries, and then I'll add another layer because it looks like I'm just removing the old paint and that's working against me. So let me just try to fix this. Let it dry and then just let it. Actually, that's kind of cool. Like little dark areas. But see, it's kind of picking up the paint, so it's kind of counterproductive. So I gotta let this dry. And then I'll add the texture lines with different. Yeah. Now you may be having a different experience. Your surface might be different. This is a recycled surface that I primed and it's reacting different. So you may be able to paint over if you're using less water. But I think I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop for now. Now I can probably work on the details there. It's pretty much dry, but I want to make sure it dries. Let's see. Let me focus that camera. It looks blurry on the. Okay, there we go. So shout out to everyone watching us, everyone that shared this link. We got about 20 more minutes, guys. I can probably do another layer coming down, but I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna stop before I mess it up more. I think we did pretty good, guys. If your brushes, make sure you always keep them inside of water so they don't mess up. Like the way I recommend you wash your brushes is with a bar of soap. It removes all the paint and it preserves the hairs on your brushes. And I learned this from one of my college professors. And your brushes will last longer if you use a bar of soap, to clean them. All right, so let me turn this this way, like so you can see it while I do my outro. So thank you guys for watching us. If you want to donate, Venmo at Efren Luna. I'm Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach with art, music, and culture. This is our 10th video that we do live. This is our 10th video. You can watch all the videos. You can watch all the videos on our. We have a playlist of videos, right? You can go to our videos. You can see them on this page. We did. You see the paintings on the background. We got a fantasy setting here that I'm still working on. Right? We have urban letters. We have a grid drawing, like a portrait, right? Abstract painting right here. Another sunset painting here. This one's really interesting, kind of like a mysterious ships and things like that. Here's a mask inspired painting, and this one was kind of like this painting was supposed to be started without any thought in mind. It was like it kind of developed on its own. Watch the videos and it'll guide you through the process. I also went over the paper mache process. We're still going to be doing our classes this way. One more thing, tomorrow, every Saturday at 12 p.m., I do a music guided practice / like lesson / practice. So I'm not a professional musician, but I got 2 years under my belt of learning music, various instruments, the theory. So I wanted to continue that through our live streams. We'll be starting at 12. And we'll usually go for like 40 minutes to an hour. We practice various instruments. We have different exercises: guitar, violin, piano, keyboard. I'm gonna add ukulele soon, but the foundation is the same. 12 p.m. Tomorrow. You can watch the same way, the same channel. Anyway, so let's look at our painting data. So shout out to everybody that shared the video. Shout out to Jonathan and Jessica for inspiring us with this view. They were cleaning the ocean right here. Right here, there's a video on my art, music, and culture page. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's very inspiring. It's just this dad and his little daughter cleaning the beach without recording it. I'm the one that recorded it because I wanted to share that there were still people who care, out there. And there's about 40,000 people who saw that video. And I got inspired to do this because this was the background, right? The background, they were standing right here on the sand, right? Go check out the video when you can. I found out their names through the video going viral because the grandma or the mom of the man, she commented, "Hey, that's my son and that's my granddaughter." So I asked permission if I could, mention their names, and she said, "Yeah." She gave me their names, so that's how I learned their names. So this is in honor of them. I did the last class, in their honor, but this one's also in their honor. In fact, this is the same background that I saw when I saw them. So thank you to them for inspiring us to clean the ocean. Remind us that, we got to take care of our environment. I know a lot of times we're caught up with other things in life, but we have to make a conscious effort to clean our environment. If anything, to not add to the, to not add to the problem, So thank you to them. Thank you to the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, Keith Lilly, Victor Ladd, Richard Shumitsu, Maha Afra, Virginia Val, myself. I'm part of the board here at Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, Efren Luna. People who donated in the past: Yayo International for donating several canvases, Lisa Hernandez for donating to my Venmo a few weeks back. I know I'm missing a whole lot of people. Richard Bemis for teaching the music class over the last couple of years. Tony Tomaselli for teaching the arts and crafts class here on Fridays. He's the one that was doing the paper mache classes. And this all classes are for the community. You know, we don't charge anybody anything. It's just wherever they can donate material or anything is appreciated. My daughter working the camera, she's a volunteer behind the scenes with the camera work. In the beginning, she was helping me teach the art classes in person. This was last year. I would you know, cover for the teacher when he was absent, and my daughter would help me with the assignments. Veronica also volunteers here and there, and her daughter. You know, they're regulars here at the gallery. They volunteer to help the parents. People who donated instruments, thank you. Johanna Hernandez, she donated an instrument. Richard Beam is a professor, he donated several instruments. Maha Afra donated several instruments. Louis Fraser donated a keyboard. Appreciate that. And everyone that's helped Cal, we want to thank you guys in this times, and even before, you know, like we always are grateful to you guys, our members who pay their dues here to be a member. You know, we're still accepting membership. So if you want to inquire about membership and to be part of our program, you know, we have memberships for $25 a year for artists who are students and seniors. For regular individuals, it's $50 a year. For families, it's $75. For groups, it's $100. You can have an exhibition here. You can still do the exhibition, but we have to do it online. So it's just going to be different. But you can stream, you know, through our channels if you're a member, you know, things like that. What else can I say? Follow Cultural Alliance of Long Beach on Instagram, Calb Arts. Follow Art, Music, and Culture on Instagram at Art, Music, and Culture, just all like that. All letters, you know. Follow our Facebook page. You're probably already doing that since you're watching this live. Follow our, well, I have a YouTube where I also put these videos on, which is Art, Music, and Culture channel that I have on YouTube. And there's another page, it's called Calb, just C-A-L-B. It used to be Calb at the shore, but we don't have the space at the shoreline anymore. We kept the page. That's our secondary page, but this is our main page, Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. All right, folks, thank you guys for watching. Efren Luna, Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. Efren Luna with Art, Music, and Culture. And that's it, folks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you for Saturday music practice. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Take care of your friends. Take care of your neighbors. Strive to be better every time. You know, bring honor to yourself. Take care of yourselves. Peace.